Bismillah. We thank everyone who gave some of their busy schedule today to come and support this great institution, Dar Al-Qalam Cultural Center. We have a good relationship with our neighbors, our partners, and if I name them, the law enforcement, the elected officials, and other stakeholders who have come here today to support this institution. My name is Abdul Atan. I am from the Office of Civic Engagement. I will welcome the Imam of the center to say few words. Welcome, Sheikh Abdullah.
Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abdullah Ismail. I'm the Imam of Dar Al-Qalam Center. Thank you so much for your support. I would like to share with you the incident that happened in the last weekend. On Saturday, August 10th, approximately 10:30 a.m., someone called the center and left Islamophobic voice messages, including insults directed at the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and repeated statements telling people, go back to your country. Later, in the same day, he also sent a video of mosque attack in New Zealand in 2019. Over the past several years, there have been multiple incidents targeting our community, including the destruction of security cameras, the deflation of car tires, and other defacement of our property with anti-Islamic graffiti. My message as an Imam to everyone is a call for peaceful coexistence among all communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Imam of the center, Sheikh Abdullah Ismail. I will call again the center director to give us more details of what happened on Saturday. Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abdi.
Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to bring it to your attention the serious and the concerning events that took place this past weekend. On Saturday, August 10th, 2024, between hours 10:30 a.m. and 3:56 p.m., a man repeatedly called Dar Al-Qalam Cultural Center, making 14 phone calls filled with hateful Islamophobia remarks, including telling our staff to go back to their country. 3 different staff members answered these calls, all receiving the same disturbing message. At one point, the caller recorded a message insulting the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When one of our staff members attempted to identify the caller's caller ID number by calling him back, he responded with a video of 2019 New Zealand mass shooting. Given the gravity of the situation, we immediately contacted the law enforcement. The police arrived promptly, and we provide them with a full report. We are cooperating with law enforcement and other stakeholders in this ongoing investigation. It is deeply troubling that the Dar Al-Qalam Islamic Center, along with other houses of worship, continues to face such hateful incidents. We are all on call responsible authorities to act decisively in addressing this menace. Islamophobia, bigotry, and hateful has no place in Minnesota or anywhere else. We urge law enforcement to take all necessary actions to hold this individual accountable for these reprehensible actions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Abdul Fattah, the Center Director. Before I call upon our next speaker, no person, no community in the state of Minnesota or anywhere else should have to live in fear of hate-fueled violence or discrimination. We should use every tool available to address discrimination, hate, violence, targeting vulnerable communities.
That's true.
I call upon the Director of CARE, Mr. Jailani, to give his remarks.
Jailani Hussain, Executive Director of CARE Minnesota, JAYLANI-HUSSEIN. We are standing here again in another familiar situation that is becoming too common, that we hope not to be in. After this incident, this has sent a chilling effect to our community. This individual, I personally believe, has a clear indication of what he tried to do, to threaten this mosque, to threaten the worshipers, and also to threaten our community. I know our community is extremely resilient. We have been. Just to put this into context, this summer alone, the Tibian Center, which is yet to open, has received over 8 different incidents of vandalism and break-ins that has cost the center over $20,000 in damage. We have seen an uptick of attacks against mosques. We've seen that also in other parts of the Twin Cities and greater Minnesota. And the state of Minnesota right now leads the nation in attacks against mosques in the last 3 years. Since 2021, we have indicated about over 33 different incidents targeting mosques in the state of Minnesota. Those included in completely burning of mosques that we saw at Tawheed Islamic Center in St. Paul, Masjid Rahman as well, and a few other mosques as well that have had significant damages to them. This particular incident, as you heard, 14 different calls to the mosque by this individual, and once he was able to send a text message, he clearly sent a message that included a 40-second clip of the shooting in New Zealand, which you can see horrifically this man who was wearing a body camera showing how he was killing worshipers in a mosque. This was not only just a threat, this is a clear intimidation and targeting of our mosque. This is not only unacceptable, but it is alarming to our community. In addition to that, we are seeing an increased hateful social media targeting of mosques and community across the country. Here also in the Twin Cities, we know that there are a number of social media accounts that continuously target, label the Muslim community and predominantly the East African community as threats or violent. We have seen that, and that has continuously increased the threat. We know that we are heading into a contested election in 2024, and we know that the impact that elections have in raising the tension, as we have already seen so far up to this point. I want to also add, we have been trying every possible way to prevent these types of attacks, in ensuring that we have used a resource by the Federal Department of Homeland Security, which allows for nonprofit organizations, including mosques, to assist and get funding to be able to use that funding to provide high-quality cameras and security protocols. We have asked for additional resources in the state of Minnesota. Unfortunately, for the last 3 years, we have received nothing in support of that funding. And we are continuously, every single time we're here, at a moment like this, we continue to remind our state leaders to act. We know, sadly, it is not if but when an attack will happen on another mosque. And we hope and pray that it does not involve casualties of human beings, but that is very likely to happen. Those security protocols that we've requested for can help reduce, and this is based on recommendations from law enforcement and other entities that continue to look at threats against house of worship across this country. Finally, I want to recognize that we do have an update on this case, and the chief will be providing that update, and I appreciate the immediate response by the Minneapolis PD to immediately come to the scene and provide an immediate response to this particular incident, and also the other law enforcement agencies that have been also involved, the FBI as well as other jurisdictions, and we appreciate for their immediate response to this issue and their quick actions that we hope will prevent this type of behavior. Finally, we are not deaf-toned to what is happening across the world. We know right now in the UK, attacks against mosques have increased. Mobs have continuously attacked communities. We know historically when it based to Islamophobia in the United States that a lot of times hateful rhetoric, hateful thoughts come from Europe, and that comes back into the United States. We've seen that in multiple different efforts. We are monitoring that, and again, we're asking our community to always continue to increase security protocols and to make sure that we are safe. And as the Imam mentioned, we are a resilient community. We're going to do everything possible to keep our community safe, and we're going to make sure that we do that every single day. But we need the community's help. So for those who are watching today, we ask for the community not to turn away. We ask for people to start speaking up to their neighbors, to watch hateful rhetoric, especially on social media, report that, and make sure that our community is safe. Safety is something that everyone has a responsibility on, and this type of behavior is unacceptable to any house of worship.
Thank you.
Is there a question for Jay?
Yeah, maybe we could do it at the end.
Okay, sure, thank you.
Thank you very much, the Director of CARE, Minnesota. Without hesitating, before I call our chief, the Minneapolis Police Chief, who is actually a very great friend of the center, who did come several times, and who is doing a lot of good work, particularly in seeing Twin Cities a safer place for all of us to live. Welcome, Mr. Chief Brian O'Hara.
Thank you, the Director, Imam, Sheikh Abdullah, elected officials. Just to be clear, the comments that were made in this case this weekend are repulsive. The video that was sent is absolutely disgusting. This is a house of worship, and all houses of worship in this city are sacred spaces. This one in particular also serves much like a community center. As we're standing here, there are children down the hall, in school, in a place where they're supposed to be safe and free from this type of fear and harassment. All of our communities should feel safe to gather in houses of worship and exercise their constitutional right to freedom of religion. We believe that crimes that target our houses of worship in this city, those crimes that are motivated by bias, are especially egregious. And it doesn't matter if you're not Muslim. It's an attack on the entire community in this city and all that we're supposed to value as Americans. I'm thankful the MPD responded quickly and immediately began a follow-up investigation. We utilized our behavioral threat assessment team in combination with the FBI, as well as state and county law enforcement partners. I'm thankful to Inspector Torberg at the 2nd Precinct, who's been here many times himself, and the officers of this area who increased patrols here so that people could feel safe. We've increased patrols around mosques in particular, around the city as a result of this incident. And we've been in contact with both community and law enforcement partners. And I'm thankful that as of yesterday, we were able to submit a case file to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office regarding this incident for consideration for appropriate charges. That being said, we will continue to remain vigilant. We will continue to investigate further to ensure that there is no further potential actions associated with this case. We believe in justice, and we believe that accountability has a deterrent effect. I am certain that cowards like this will be less of a bully when they get a chance in front of a judge than when they are hiding in a room threatening others through technology.
Thank you, Chief Brian O'Hara, for those remarks. I will call upon the Director of IANA to come and talk to this press statement.
Thank you, Brother Abdullahi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Yusuf Abdullah, Yusuf, Y-U-S-U-F, Abdullah, A-B-D-U-L-L-E. I'm Executive Director of Islamic Association of North America, which is a 37 centuries umbrella in the United States, in 16 states. And this mosque and this center is a part of that association. So we're here today to support our center, one of our centers again, that was attacked. And the attack now is very, very serious. And it has a lot of consequences if it's not taken seriously and properly. Before I start my statement, I would like to thank everyone who came. My friend Chief O'Hara, we worked together many times, and we work together in many areas of safety and awareness of the community. And Brother Jeremiah, thank you so much for coming. Brother Jelani, thank you for coming. And who else is behind me? Oh, Rainville, thank you so much for coming. Imam Abdullahi, Brother Abdullahi, all the Imams, directors. And I really, this is the crowd that comes to speak for the community. And my first appreciation is to everyone, but first to them. The police, community leaders, our elected officials, our imams, our directors, the press, and also thank you for coming and covering this. Having said that, this is not the first time or second time or third time that I'm coming to these press conferences. And it became the norm. And I'm afraid we as a community, Muslims, non-Muslims, Minnesotans, become desensitized and be familiar with the attacks against mosques. That's my fear. And that's what we see now. It's an attack, another attack at another mosque. That's how things get bad. When the Jews were massacred in Germany, it started with first steps. Started with alienating them. Started with making them punching bags for some politicians. Today, it is the social media and some people who are using the social media that are using the Muslim community as punching bags, scoring political goals, and trying to get attention of people who are already having their own issues. Poor people hitting against this community. When you tarnish immigrants, call them names, Muslims, call them names, you are intentionally or unintentionally calling others to do the same and even worse. Words have consequences. Messages have consequences. We cannot take this lightly. If that person sent that message today of Muslims being massacred in New Zealand, what would prevent that person of doing the same here? Because he's proud of it. He liked it, what he has seen. So now what we need to do is, as a community, our elected officials, Minnesotans, United States citizens, wherever we are, we need to be united against hate, Islamophobia, bigotry, and take it serious. And I hope we all learn a lesson, and I hope that it doesn't happen that we come to another mosque where there's a dead body or dead bodies. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who brought us here today. This is a very peaceful place, as you can see. You come, you pray, you learn, you teach, you communicate. There is nothing else here but peace. So to disturb that peace with hate, that is the ultimate betrayal of the citizenship and residents of the state of Minnesota. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ayana Director Yusuf Abdullah, for those great words. We need, and I mean anybody who wants to sow seeds of division and set communities one another, the eyes of Minnesotans are wide open. And let me just say, follow up with what Yusuf was saying. Messages and words have consequences. We cannot take politicians who sets or even sows messages of division. I will call upon the council president and the councillor of Ward 1, Mr. Elliot Payne, and I'm sorry, I'm just correcting the name. Somebody gave you another name. Mr. Elliot Payne, welcome, sir.
I'm sorry for that.
My name is Elliot Payne. I am the Minneapolis City Council President, and I'll be echoing a lot of words here. Hate has no home here in Minneapolis. We take these issues very seriously. I'm very grateful to the police chief and MPD for being so responsive on this case. Our freedom is connected, and as long as one of us isn't free, none of us are going to be free. And so we can't allow this type of behavior to exist within our city. We need to make sure that we are living our values of belonging and inclusion in every single thing that we do. And we do not have a city where you belong if you cannot worship in peace. And so today is about making sure that no community has to suffer this type of intimidation, has to live in fear as they go about their daily life, as they pray. And so I'm very grateful for the seriousness that we as a city took this, and I'm hoping that this is sending a very clear message that this is not acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I just want to give the council member who is here, Michael Rambal, who has been here for some time and who knows this place and who has been coming here to support the center. Michael Rambal, please.
Thank you. So it's an honor to be included in this. So I look around the room and I see so many of my friends, and I'm sad that we have to meet under these circumstances. But I thank you for the acknowledgement. I'll never forget the first time that you invited me here. I was just thinking it's been 3 years, but I've been so welcome here. And my interest in protecting this mosque is, I would invite you, the press, to come here on a Saturday or Sunday and see the teaching that goes on of the children that are the future of not only this community, but our community. So thank you for giving me the chance to say a couple words, and I stand in solidarity against this hate. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council Member Michael Rambal. I'll end up with giving Abdurrahman, who is here, Mr. Mohammed Wadar, or not, maybe Abdullah Farah is here. You just say a word. And after that, the officers will take, or anybody, there will be some question session.
Hello, my name is Abdullah Farah, ABTU, LLAHI, last name Farah, FARAH. Islamophobia is a system of racism that unfairly targets Muslims in their daily lives, including the reason that we're here today. So I just want to remind all Minnesotans, our diversity is our strength. So we need to support each other, and I want to encourage the law enforcement to be very cautious around the things that are happening around the mosques nowadays. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will take questions, and please, if I'm not sure, I'll give you the mic, and then.
It's okay.
Oh, you can.
I'll be loud.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
It's actually a question for Jaylani. I'm wondering if CARE has received any federal funds to enhance security measures. If so, how much? And then can you talk about how those funds are allocated?
Thank you. So, CARE as an entity, we have not received the federal funds. They're mainly for institutions that have buildings. So last year, we were fortunate to have 5 Minnesota mosques to receive federal allocations for that nonprofit security grant. It's called the Nonprofit Security Grant. That's 5 out of maybe 50 that are planning to request. And so the state of Minnesota each year receives about $2 million in that federal money. That's available for the hundreds that are applying for that grant. So there's not enough money to really make sure that many of these mosques are actually able to get that money. What we have been advocating for in 2022 and 2023 is, with the $17 billion surplus, is to actually increase a segment of that money so that we have a matching fund. There's already an existing matching fund. It's about $250,000 that the state gets. That's not enough to do anything. So we are asking the state to actually create $7 million. Unfortunately, the state legislature did not approve that, did not even request it, did not even entertain it, which is very disappointing, especially with a Democrat-controlled government that has historically shared their support for our community publicly. But when it comes to actual doing things, it's a question what our community has. Last year, we tried to propose a bill. Senator Fraser began to work on it, never went anywhere. And so we're coming back this year in the same legislature to ask for that. And this funding is not a funding we're only requesting. This is funding that the Jewish community has requested, JCRC and others, because there's just not enough money to go around to create that type of community support. And this is a project that the law enforcement supports and many other organizations have supported. So we know the cities have some funding, but really it's the state and the federal that has to play their part. So we're glad that this year we helped another 30 mosques apply for this grant. But we know because the pool actually shrunk, the federal government for that specific grant this year actually reduced their amount. So therefore we're anticipating maybe 3 or 4 mosques may be able to get that funding out of the 90 plus mosques in the state of Minnesota. And I want to just add this, many people are not aware, our mosques serve the poorest Minnesotans. The East African community is 75% poor. What you are seeing here is a hard work from the community who are willing to spend their little resources to make sure that their security and their mosques are kept. What is also not well known is about 1/3 of their income goes back to their relatives. So if you're talking about poverty, that does not even include the 1/3 that they're sending back home. So when we talk about the need for these resources to just give us the bare bone minimum security, we're talking about something that we know can help prevent. And in all of the incidents of mosques being attacked, it was clearly evident that if we had those cameras, we would have been able to capture those individuals much faster. If we had those doors and those other measures that are in that grant, we would have been able to prevent those individuals even coming into the mosque. So we're not talking about just something that cannot happen. We're talking about a solution that we're not able to access because leaders are not stepping up and doing their job.
Just want to make sure I heard you correctly, fact checking myself.
Yes.
You said 5 mosques applied and received those federal
No,
funds?
there are more
or
than
just
30
1?
mosques that applied. Only 5 received it last year.
And are they all based in the Twin Cities?
Yes, most of them are based in Twin Cities.
Can
And
you
then
name
this
them?
year,
Can you name the 5 mosques?
one of the mosques is actually this mosque, and then there's the Masjid al-Salam. No, Masjid al-Salam. The mosques that received are this mosque and Masjid al-Ansar, Masjid Ramadan was here, also Dar Al-Qalam Sunnah.
And how much did each of those mosques receive?
4 of the mosques received the full 150K. One of the mosques submitted an incorrect grant application, so they only received 5,000. But the rest of the 4 received $150,000 that they could be used for those types of things.
When did they receive the funds, and then did they already
Use it?
utilize?
We are still struggling on that. We just actually had a meeting with the state leaders just about a few weeks ago, because there are challenges to these federal grants and being able to access them. Their reimbursement process, and they've been very slow. So they're actually a year behind once you get the grant to be fully able to use that money.
I see, so they have not used, all 5 mosques have not used the federal
Yet,
funds
yet.
They've received them, but not used them.
Yes, and they're technically isn't.
It has been approved.
Been
But not
approved.
received.
Yes.
Got it, thank you so much, that's important,
Thank
thank you.
Another question?
I have it, for Chief O'Hara, you said the case is going, to Mayor Moriarty's office. How did you identify this individual, and was it indeed a man from St. Cloud as the number indicated?
I'm not gonna comment any further, as the file is with the county attorney, and I'm confident, that office will be making the appropriate charging decision, and then that information will come out at the right time.
Is someone in custody though?
There's no one in custody, at this time, no.
You talked about partnering with area mosques on security measures. Can you talk about what that partnership looks like between Minneapolis Police and area mosques?
Well, we have done outreach, including myself, to houses of worship in the city, which includes many of our masjids. It's primarily at the precinct level. So our inspectors are aware of houses of worship of all different types of faith within their respective, areas of geography. Just like Inspector Torberg, who's here earlier and has been here several times himself. And it's important that we have these relationships with all of our houses of worship prior to something happening. So they have the relationships that they do have, that they're able to just pick up the phone and call the inspector when there is a significant concern. So it is primarily about relationship building, and primarily at the precinct level.
We don't have specific numbers to quantify what the increase looks like, but have you noticed an uptick in these types of calls to mosques?
I don't have specifics on data, no. I've been here for 2 years. This has consistently been a problem while I've been here, yes.
Chief, can you share if this incident was related to any of those prior threats made against this mosque?
We have no information to indicate that this is related to any other incident. And while the investigative file is complete for the incident that occurred here this weekend, we are continuing to investigate to ensure that there isn't any other threat out there as well. So nothing right now to indicate this is connected to anything else.
Let me add, Chief. I just want to be appreciative of the Minneapolis Police Department and the Chief. I know since you've been here, you've increased the response rate for mosques. We've also seen a partnership on training. We did a active shooter training that the Minneapolis PD carried out with leadership of mosques. And also the response rate from the precincts when these incidents happen have been pretty good. So we're looking forward to these partnerships continuing. Obviously, we hope that these incidents continue to not happen, and that's why we need to make sure that we have the resources to make sure our mosques are much more security resilient.
I just had one more question. How are you informing community members who attend the mosques who might be concerned? How are you making sure that they're aware of these types of incidents?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, how do you let community members who attend the mosque know about these types of incidents, what they should do, any role that they can play in, helping?
Well, I'm not sure about the other centers, but for our center, when they come mostly on Fridays, the number is big. We speak to them and tell them exactly what happened, and that is where we inform. And others, we have all their contacts, so we're going to give them the information that we have as we receive.
Thank you.
Let me add to that. And as the director of Islamic Association of North America, this is a question that is very important, that when we receive such things, we connect with our mosques in the area and we tell them what happened, and to be vigilant and take care of the mosques and be more aware of the situation. So that falls on me, Jailani, and others who are leaders of this community. Having said that, also, I would like just to add to the comment that since the chief came to the city. We've been working with him, and he's been working with us, not only on the mosque levels, but also on the community levels in general. And as you have seen, you know, when there is summertime, July 4th, him and I were, and Abdullahi, were in Dinky Town, we were working together,
Yes, we
and,
were.
you know, keeping the kids from the streets and telling them go home. So it's a good relationship that we really appreciate, that's building. And we would like all other agencies of the state to work with the community closely. Thank you.
Will the Imam who spoke earlier spell his name, please?
We will give you, I think, they will ask you. Again, let me just take. Yes.
Spell your name first.
Yeah, I'm the Imam. My name is Abdullahi Ismail. Abdullahi, first name is Abdullahi. Last name is Ismail, Ismail.
Yeah, my name is Abdel Fattah Abdi. It's ABDI, F-A-T-A-H, and last name is Abdi, ABDI.
Thank you very much. Again, let me just, this is the last word. This is a center of excellence. There are kids here and other members of the community who come here for just learning worshiping, good citizenship. So that is, and the name Dar Al-Qalam, it means the center of the pen. So get that word, Dar Al-Qalam, that's its meaning. Other than that, I say, for those people who came, for the leaders, we thank you very much, and we have you in our hearts. For the media, I thank you very much, and we say, you are doing a good job. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sorry for
It's okay.
sorry for that.